And I don't know, is that normal? I think that a lot of people look, and maybe I overthink things, but part of what motivates me to keep doing all the stuff I do, keep working towards all my goals, keep trying to grind in life is the fact that I know that one day I'm going to die. I don't know if this is normal, but I think about my death, my demise every single day. Every single day. And I don't know, is that normal? Drop a 2 in the chat if you think I'm just out of my fucking mind. But every single day that I have been alive, ever since I was, I'm going to say since I was 12, 13, every single day I've thought about my death. Every single day. There's not one day that I don't think about my own death. Today, Bailey and I went to the grocery store. I was coming home. I was thinking about my own death. Yesterday, I was thinking about every single day I think about my own death. There's not one day. I don't think there's been ever one day in my entire life that I've not sat and thought about my death, contemplating death. And maybe that's not normal. I don't know, but it's kind of a little bit of an obsession of mine to just contemplate the mortality of your own existence, you know? One day you're going to close your eyes, hopefully peacefully, and you're never going to open them again. And then the shell that you've been inhabiting will be thrown into the dirt or cremated. I'd rather be thrown into the dirt than cremated. I've always thought this. I don't want to be cremated. But your body, your corpse, whatever it is going to be disposed of, right? Disposed of. And that thought has always motivated me to try and push my hardest to reach my goals, you know? And I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if it's a good thing. It might not be a good thing, but for me, that's always been a major motivating factor. He says, when you serve, you think like that a lot. Oh, and the military killer? He says, well, what is normal though? I mean, honestly, I would say that that thought has grounded me, bro. How can you say that the thought of your own mortality doesn't ground you? Like for me, it's the most grounding thought ever. It makes you realize how insignificant your life is, how temporary everything is, how you have to live everything to its fullest potential. Like you can't just live in fear your whole life and never, you know, look, I've always said it, like, and this is the reason why even as a teenager, I was never afraid to approach girls or do whatever, because I always thought like, well, fuck, I could die tomorrow, so I might as well talk to this girl today. You know, what's the point of not doing it? What consequence will you have if you don't do it? Like, you're gonna die someday, chat. I hate to break it to y'all. If you didn't realize it yet, you're gonna die someday. One day you're gonna cease to exist. And this also leads to my whole belief in the supernatural and afterlife. Like, you know, for a person like me who believes in science, who holds science at a high regard, it's hard because in my mind, I have no proof. I've yet to see any proof of an afterlife. So in my mind, when you die, you just don't exist anymore. You know, I would like there to be an afterlife, chat. I would love to believe in a fucking afterlife. That's the thing that people don't understand. People think like, oh, Scott, so what do you think? Like, I wish. They're like, what do you think happens after you die? I wish there was an afterlife, bro. They're real. I wish there was an afterlife. Kiloscope, I would have to see with my own 2 eyes. And even if I did see a ghost, I mean, shit, bro. I could have been, there's just too many unknowns, man. But I really don't think that anything's going to happen. I think that when I close my eyes that last time, I'm just going to not exist anymore. That's a scary thought. That's a scary, grounding thought. A thought that will really leave you contemplating in your own existence and the importance of your existence. What have you accomplished in life? Will you be remembered? Will anybody know who you are? How many generations will remember you before you fade into memory, out of memory? You know, that thought, the thought of legacy, you guys don't ever have thought of legacy, bro? Am I delusional? Do I have delusions of grandeur? Your boy Scott must have delusions of grandeur. I really do, because I always think like about legacy, like after I pass away, how many generations will remember who I was before I fade out of memory? Because realistically speaking, most of you guys know what your grandfather did, what your grandfather did for a living, his life story. Maybe you might know it, but do you know your great-grandfather's life story? Do you know your great-great-grandfather's life story? You probably don't. And my biggest fear, one of my biggest fears, is to pass away and be forgotten completely. You know, to pass away and have nobody remember you. Three generations later, you're gone. There's no trace of your existence. You left no mark. So That motivation alone is what pushes me to make content, what pushed me to write the little novel I was writing, that pushed me to do all the stuff that I've done, you know? The fact that I want to be remembered, I don't want to be forgotten. Who wants to be forgotten, bro? Who wants to exist, go through a whole life and then be forgotten? And the only way you can do that is by contemplating your mortality, you know? If you don't contemplate your own mortality, you're not going to be pushed to do anything spectacular. But if I sit down in my house and I don't self-reflect, then I'm never going to add up to anything. And that's the whole point.